All right, welcome back to the Bricks, everybody. As usual, Ken Boyer, Mike Lewis on this set. Now, before we left on the break, we're going to transition into the Lions to talk about Detroit Lions football. Remember, the Spotlight Detroit is the theme of this segment of the Bricks. Now, there's been the Lions actually have been making a few free agent acquisitions. You know, some good, some bad, some may be fool's gold, some may be, you know, diamond in the rough type situations. But Reggie Bush has seemed to be that's my neighbor. Reggie Bush is what I see as the highlight and the guy who seems to be, you know, knocking it home so far for a lot of Detroit fans. Bringing him in for a 4-year deal. I'm wondering why the exact numbers and all the specifics of this contract hasn't come out yet.
Undisclosed.
Because I'm feeling like a guy like Reggie Bush, who's just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago, who was the second pick in the NFL draft. Guys like that, how you on the market, whether he's mush or bush when he comes here, like those guys usually don't tend to make their stops at Detroit and say, okay, I'm sold on those things, unless you really have to throw the bank at a lot of guys like that to get them, you know what I mean? So I'm still waiting on, the jury's still out for me on the whole Reggie Bush deal.
At him.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you think about the Lions and how they're going? So
listen, man, me personally, I like the move.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, I mean, a lot of people may not think it's all that.
Yeah.
I like the move, though. You got somebody out the backfield, you know, he can catch it. He's quick.
Yeah.
Take some pressure off Johnson and Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can throw him in there with LaSure, you know, see what they can do. You know, LaSure is a stronger back, like to run up the middle.
Yeah.
But Reggie Bush got that speed going on the outside.
Yeah.
You can switch it however you want to do it. The thing is, it's another dimension to the offense that they need.
Right.
So,
in all of his 7 seasons too, he's averaged at least 34 catches, you know, out of the backfield, and that's the thing that's going to add to the arsenal of the passing attack. And you know, I guess to keep some of those guys out of the box, I don't think he'll be, you know, having to worry about that with Calvin Johnson out there. And I still feel they have holes that they really didn't address on the defense.
What's the biggest one?
I mean, I feel like the defensive line. For one, the defensive line, but the glaring hole in it, I feel like is the secondary. I feel like you need an elite safety. If you're going to keep Louis Delmas, who they just re-signed, if you're going to keep guys like that out there, I mean, you need an elite safety. You know, Ed Reed was out on the market, a veteran guy who knows how to run a defense. Like he was there. Him and Ed Reed was the staples of that Ravens defense. I mean, leaders in there, workout warriors. I mean, leaders all the way around. The Lions really, they need that's an investment on more of a player and talent. But as far as the camaraderie and teaching these guys how to win, because it's just a losing mentality. You see guys like Dominican Sue come in their rookie seasons and second season, and gradually they turn into a Lions football player. You know what I mean? Seriously, they literally gradually turn into a Lions football player. Now he's to the point where, you know, he's tripping people on the football field, and they say, "Hey, you can't do that." He said, "I didn't do anything." You know, like crazy. Eventually,
we didn't see that.
Yeah, you know, you have guys like Titus Young come out having a breakout, you know, rookie year, and say, "Man, this guy's really going to do something." You hear him in the locker room. He's not even allowed in the building.
No, he's not.
You know, they eventually turn into, and you have to figure out what is going on in that locker room, man. Get somebody investing in people. More than even just the talent level. But, I mean, if you can get that mix with, say, a guy like Ed Reed, I feel like you got to go for it.
Well, what about, here's my thing. I hear what you're saying about that. But I'm still nervous about getting some help for Calvin Johnson on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is going to be playing alongside him? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Nate Burleson, okay. You coming off a broken leg. I mean, Ryan Broyles is fast, but he's really like a slot type receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Dominic Hickson's name out there. I would say we can pass on him.
You just loaded up with Reggie Bush. He's another receiver. He's a at least valuable running back. I mean, he's a solid running back. You know, he's never been between the tackles. He's yet to prove that. But he still could be an every down back. I mean, for the Lions, especially in that offense opened up, he can be a bit more like how Joseph Adai was in Indianapolis offense. Mm-hmm. You know, a couple years ago when they had that vaunted passing attack. So I feel like it means nothing if you can't stop anybody. Right. I mean, the guys are throwing Hail Marys up. You know,
I just don't want it to get to the point where we see a lot what we saw last year. Calvin just getting double and triple, and everybody just know where the ball going. Yeah. Stop making him your main focus, because other defenses know that. Mm-hmm. Scott Linehan need to really learn. Okay, now we got Reggie Bush. Now we got to play around with this.
Yeah.
Don't do that to Calvin. That's my thing. Get him some help.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe shoot Victor Cruz. Go after him. He unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned before, like people like that, you're gonna have to throw the bank at them in order to get them to come here and join this Lions
I wish they
debacle.
could have got Greg Jennings was out there. He went to Minnesota.
I feel like they missed the ball on a couple of guys that they haven't even interviewed or tried to get at. Like at least no sources have reported. You know, getting stronger in that offensive line. I mean, you have your franchise quarterback, your franchise wide receiver. You know, and now you have a guy like Reggie Bush that you've put back there. You've invested a lot in all these weapons and the skill positions, but you haven't solidified that offensive line. You know what I mean? Like you have guys like Joe Thomas and Jake Long out there, elite, you know, tackles. You know, you go out and you draft a Riley Reid first round, first pick, you know, last year, and then the guy's playing third string tight end. You know, come on, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I feel like they still
Tight
have
end, that's another spot we ain't even hit yet.
Yeah, I feel like they just need to step up. When it comes to the tight end, they have the pieces. I feel like I would put them in that room and say, listen, you're going to be a tight end. Period. You're going to do what you're supposed to do.
dropping the ball.
Yeah, that's it. Or you just won't get the ball.
I need to name his name, man, but he know who he is.
Exactly, but
BP. Hit him with the initials, man.
Brandon better shoot. I feel like shoot every time I feel like he look in his hand and say shoot. I should have caught that. Like that's what I feel like with this guy. But they have those guys. I feel like work on them. I mean, if you have to throw, you know, balls and use the catching machines with those guys, 100 times. Yeah, no, literally just shoot them at them. You know what I mean? Like an Adam Sandler film or something like that. Just shoot them at them. You gonna learn how to catch this ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're too big for it.
Right.
You too big. The ball fits right here in the palm of your hand. You can catch the football.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when we come back from the break, we're going to transition and talk about. I mean, on a bigger stage when it comes to Detroit, the Detroit new emergency manager, and we'll be back to talk about that. It's the breaks.